Pocket notebooks are the ultimate tool for becoming mentally jacked. You might just see them as an old-fashioned way to take notes and write down to-do lists, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Many notable people throughout history, people like Mark Twain, Charles Darwin, Virginia Woolf, Pablo Picasso, used the pocket notebook to help them create work that changed the way we see the world. Over the years, I've had countless different journals in different forms, and the one that I keep returning to again and again is this little pocket notebook. So in this video, we're going to cover why pocket notebooks are so valuable and how they can save your mind from the infinite distractions of the modern world. So why use a pocket notebook in the first place? It's not really a surprise to anyone anymore at this point that our attention span is pretty much the lowest it's ever been in human history. There's growing evidence to suggest that our brains are actually getting weaker. If you look at this graph here that I'm presenting on the screen, you'll notice that this cognitive decline started happening around the early 2010s, which is exactly the time when smartphones became the norm. They became ubiquitous. This has not only impacted our ability to focus, but it's really made it so that we don't do mentally challenging activities as much, things that would really improve our mental fitness, things like reading, writing, and learning hard skills. So what's the solution to this problem? Well, for most of us, getting rid of our smartphones entirely is not a realistic option. But what we can do is we can start to notice those negative effects that these smartphones might be having on our minds and start to work against them by taking responsibility for our mental fitness. And this is where the pocket notebook comes in, because the pocket notebook, what it is it's basically the anti-smartphone. There's no distractions on this thing, no notifications buzzing. It's just bare bones. It's just a blank space for you to think and create. So let's talk about why these things are so powerful. Number one, it directs your thinking. The problem with your phone is your brain already associates it with all those social media apps, all the entertainment, all the messages. When you try to use your phone to think deeper, right? You try to use it to write something down or think about some challenge you're facing on a deeper level, it's going to be very challenging because it's so distracting. You're going to have these notifications popping up on your phone. The pocket notebook is basically the opposite, right? It's bare bones. There's nothing on there to distract you. And so what you can do is you can just pull out the notebook, and immediately just the act of looking at your notebook is going to invite you to think deeply because there's nothing else to do on this thing, right? I have a notebook completely dedicated to these YouTube videos. And whenever I pull that notebook out, my brain automatically relates it to YouTube content. And so I start thinking about that automatically. It directs my thinking in a particular direction, which is productive for me. Another benefit of these notebooks is their form factor. You can simply put it in your pocket just like a phone, and it's always with you. It doesn't require charging, it's always on, it opens instantly. I can pull one of these notebooks out when I'm on my lunch break, when I'm commuting, when I'm taking a walk and I sit down at a park or something. I can just take this out and start thinking about a problem that I'm facing with my work, or I can plan my week. I can do a bunch of stuff with this, be really productive during these mundane moments, these moments throughout the day when I'd otherwise just be scrolling my phone. There's also an emotional component to using one of these notebooks. There's something so satisfying about using a pocket notebook, right? Sitting in a scenic location, taking out your notebook, writing some things down. There is something really satisfying about that. And what it does is it kind of makes you feel like a thinker or a writer or an artist. Makes you feel that way. And that feeling really matters because the more engaged emotionally you are with a particular activity, the more likely it is you're going to do more of it. And finally, these pocket notebooks are probably the best weapon I've discovered for fighting against the algorithm, fighting that impulse to doom scroll. If you're carrying one around, what you can do is when you notice yourself, you notice the impulse to want to scroll your phone, check social media, you could do that, or you could pull out your pocket notebook, which I've started doing, and it's actually a pretty easy swap. It's a great way to avoid doom scrolling. All right, so let's say you're convinced and you're ready to get yourself one of these pocket notebooks. How do you actually use one? There are endless ways you can use a blank page, but sometimes infinite possibilities can actually freeze us. So I want to share with you two of my favorite journaling methods because I think it's useful to have some frameworks in your mind that you can use, like sort of like tools in your toolkit when you need them, right? These methods that I'm going to share with you can help you improve your thinking, learn deeper, spark creative ideas. It can even help you grow your business. The first method that I want to share with you here is something that I call Socratic journaling. Socratic journaling is basically just a fancy way of saying journal like a philosopher. It comes from the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates, who was known to never lecture, never hand people answers directly. Instead, he'd have people state their assumptions, state their opinions about a subject, and then he'd dialogue with them by asking them question after question, going deeper and deeper with them until the other person would experience a breakthrough, an insight, a new level of understanding about the topic. Socratic journaling is basically just having one of these dialogues with yourself on paper. So let's talk about how to actually do this in 4 steps. Number 1, pick something that you want to understand. Pick a topic. It could be a challenge you're facing at work. It could be a concept you want to understand deeper, or it could be a creative idea that you want to expand on. For our purposes, let's go with the example of learning. Number 2, think from scratch. Take the topic and think about it at its most fundamental level. Don't use ChatGPT for this. Don't Google it. Don't try to find the answer in a book. Just think about it through your own direct experience. What do you actually know about this topic for certain, right? In the case of learning, I might ask myself, what is learning? I write that down into my journal and I try to come up with some answers to what is learning based on my experience alone. What is learning? How does learning happen? Step 3 is to keep questioning. Keep asking more questions. Keep challenging your assumptions, challenging your answers. Your mind will come up with all sorts of answers. You want to keep challenging those. Keep questioning them deeper and deeper. This is how you start to really expand your understanding over a topic, just based on your own contemplation, your own original thinking. The goal here isn't to arrive at some ultimate insight, some ultimate understanding about the topic. It's simply to get your mind thinking for itself. It's to get your mind thinking in new ways about this topic that you've decided to think about. The second way to use a pocket notebook is as a mini commonplace book. For many years, I would read books, study courses, listen to educational videos, only to later realize that I didn't really retain any of it. A commonplace book is the solution to this problem. It's basically a journal where instead of writing down your own thoughts, you write down the thoughts of others. You get these ideas from things you watch, listen to, and read. Typically, a commonplace book is large enough to fill over years, but I like to carry around a pocket journal as sort of a portable version of a commonplace book. This is a place where I can write basic little quotes that I hear while I'm reading books. Sometimes I like to have this alongside my book, so that when I come across something like a passage in the book that I really like, I can quickly jot it down into one of these little notebooks. I don't obsess over the structure of my notes. I just write them down really quickly. I don't think about it too much. I don't care about if the handwriting is perfect. I just use this as a placeholder for ideas that I might want to revisit later. Using one is very simple. All you need to do is stay curious as you consume, as you read books, as you listen to podcasts, etc., etc. When you notice something resonates with you while you're reading, while you're listening to a video, you want to write that down before you forget it. What I also like to do is I like to write down the source, right? So I can go back to it later if I want to. And then lastly, review your notes periodically. Every so often you want to go back and just flip through the pages you've filled for little insights that you've got from the different books and podcasts and videos you've been consuming. This is a fun thing to do when you're bored and you've got nothing else to do, and where otherwise, again, you'd be scrolling. Well, now you can take out your Commonplace book filled with wisdom from the books you've been reading, and you can just read those. And finally, let's talk about which notebook you should buy. It does not really matter which notebook you buy. I personally use the Moleskine K here because these ones are durable, they're flexible, and they're pretty thin, right? The one caveat I would give you is look for the binding of the notebook. You don't want cheap binding. That's when the pages start falling out, which is the last thing you want. And finally, don't let this video, or any video about journals for that matter, limit you. Okay? These journals are your playground. You get to decide how you use them. Document your messy thoughts, write a poem, do whatever you want with them. The main thing is you start using them and you start reducing the amount of time you look at screens by using them, okay? So that's all for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Lastly, if you're interested, go check out my newsletter on Substack. Link is in the description of this video. There's some really cool stuff that I share there, which I don't necessarily share here on YouTube. So make sure to subscribe there. Yeah, that's all for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.